Hello there. Good to see you again. And my name is Timbizo Pagati, and welcome to the Standard Dads Network Season 1. This is episode 5, and with me, I've got my friend Adele. And welcome, Adele, to our session and to our episode. And it's good to meet you, and thanks that you've been able to make time for us today. Welcome. And maybe introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little bit about what you do and how you get connected to this fatherhood story that you're passionate about so much.
Okay, so my name's Adele Pillay. I'm a life coach and an author. I work with children. I work at Kids Haven, and I've always been passionate about the well-being of children. I'm a single mom. I have been for the last 30 some odd years, and I want to congratulate you on this initiative. I think it's needed. And I also want to say that as a single mom or just a woman in South Africa, maybe we haven't held the space for men to be vulnerable. We haven't made time to listen to our little boys and hear what they're hurting about. But I did write a poem, and I'd like to open with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, "Oh man, anointed, appointed, tried, tested, then set apart. Survivor, thriver, change maker, wisdom keeper. Oh man, gentle, kind, loving and sweet, allowed the highest seat, emboldened, emblazoned, enlightened and trusted. Understand the weight, change the fate, uphold the calling, deny falling. Oh man, head or heart, flesh or spirit, doing or being, taking or giving, sacrificial or superficial. Oh man, a nation hoping you'll play your part, a child longing to be in your heart, and yet you too could have that longing of belonging. Oh man, love that little boy who wanted more than a toy. Ease your heart as you are playing your part. Come home, you belong, and sing a new song."
Wow, this is powerful. How did you select that? This is so relevant in what we're doing.
Yeah, when I had written this on the 15th of November 2021.
Wow, Adele, that's touching.
And the reason why is because when we think or speak about men, it's in a very demeaning way.
Yes.
And I had to challenge myself and say, but there are good men out there.
Absolutely.
There are men who are kind, who are supportive, who are family men, who don't know how to hurt a woman.
Absolutely.
Who would never ever belittle her. And so we have to start counting those men and making them matter.
Wow. I like that. You and I were talking over the phone the other day about the work that you do, and I was very touched by this. But I wanna come to this point around that most dads that I speak to are grappling this thing between the demands of their profession and raising kids, or family demands generally. How would you advise us as some dads or dads co-parenting with someone to create this balance? Is it even possible to create?
I think you might be pioneers, especially in the Black community where men don't do chores. They don't
I know.
raise kids, they don't change nappies.
Do not change nappies.
They don't wash
I don't wake
dishes.
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No.
No dishes, yeah?
But let me say this, women are exhausted.
Yeah.
And in the best interest of your children and pioneering this new field for generations to come, first of all, know that it's going to be hard. We don't have a map for this. Maybe the space you are going into, other men are going to say, "What a wuss.
What are you saying?" Yeah.
Are you going to be helping out now?
Yeah.
Are you not going to be standing around the braai with a beer and just ordering everybody around, just bring me that? No, you're actually going to do that.
Yeah.
So that's going to mean that you might not be included when the guys are hanging out.
Ah, I see. You're gonna feel left out, yeah.
So you are going to challenge the masculinity of your gender.
Yes. Yes.
And that won't be taken well.
Yeah.
But know and understand that the compassion that you share and the protective space that you make for women and children means that we have support.
Wow.
That your children now know what to look for in a man
Yes.
she's going to marry.
She's going to marry, yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I want us to touch on the EQ, or the emotional well-being of us as fathers. We know that, women are very good at expressing themselves, whether they like something or not, but we keep a lot of stuff within ourselves. This co-parenting thing is very tricky for us, because we tend, when there is conflict, whether emotional or otherwise, we tend to withdraw and go into our shells and just say, we will provide, but we'll provide from a distance. How do we coach men to get closer to their partners, whether ex or current, as it relates to parenting, so that we create that bridge that we can always reach to one another? How do you coach men to go over that bridge, or to cross that bridge? The emotional bridge.
So what we don't realize is we're always trying to protect the little girl. But there are so many men who've grown up without a dad, who haven't had the love and the support, and they don't have the language of hearing, I love you. Okay, so
it's unheard of.
It's unheard of. I don't remember my dad telling us he loved us.
Wow.
And also, when you provide, don't make it about the stuff.
About the provision, but not. It should be about relationship and the bond.
It's not about the big toys. It's not about the big car. It's about you. It's you. You are enough.
Wow.
And you need to come from that space that says, I'm not going to put extra pressure on myself to stay long in the office so I can take my family on vacation and pay for everything. No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
If you can be present at home. So if you might not be able to come home every night.
So it's just about giving attention. It's
Love,
not about
attention.
iPhones or PlayStations.
Because when you can't provide that, what's your purpose in that child's life?
Exactly. The day you can't provide those things, what is left?
Because you're saying, I'm going to be the guy who buys you the product.
Yes.
I'm not going to connect to you.
But when you play with the product, but the product doesn't help you connect with me. And by the way, and I always say to my kids, when we take our annual holidays, we make sure that we go to a place where these things we're going to forget. Because we're going to play, we're going to do activities, we forget about cell phones, there are no television signals. We deliberately choose those holidays where we're going to forget about our gadgets. And but that's intentional. But I'm thinking most dads, generally speaking, feel that if I can provide the physical needs of a child, and that's enough. But how do you coach them to just be available and just to make themselves available for the child physically and be present?
You have to take that pressure off yourself.
Okay.
Okay. You have to make memories with your children.
Wow, I like that.
Because for me, parenting is very simple. It's about time, love, and attention.
Yes.
Everything else is a bonus.
Is on top, yeah.
So if you can make that popcorn with your kids, and I'm talking cheap, wholesome connection, laugh about something.
And walk in a park, or go to a zoo, or go play football together. It sounds simple, but what causes us dads to think that it's not that important? You think? Why
maybe
do we
because you
put
set such a high standard for yourself and your family, and maybe there's the expectation that you're going to do that. You are going to, possibly living up to this image
Yeah.
of what a father is. And my dad, I loved him with all my heart, but was also quite aloof.
Aloof.
He came
and
and
absent.
he went. And so you don't know how to relate to him.
And
you
you
also
don't really
didn't know
have
how
a
to relate
relationship.
to us.
Yeah.
So I think find the language, go for therapy, go for coaching. If you've been molested as a child, you have to process those emotions, because the barrier that you create within your own world becomes the barrier in how you relate to people.
Yes. And you carry that trauma with you, and then you start bleeding on people that didn't hurt you.
And also,
later in life.
you could be the child that had to protect your mother from being beaten by your father.
Wow.
And you've never ever processed that. And that feeling of being inadequate and powerless could still be haunting you.
Still be haunting you, yeah. I want to come to that because I would like us to wrap up with this thing around professionals like yourself obviously deal with all kinds of challenges from all kinds of angles as it relates to fatherhood or parenting. But how would you make it easier for dads to be comfortable with seeking help? Is there a stigma about a male person looking for help around these things? Or how could we make it just okay for Stay to say, I'm drowning, I know nothing about parenting, I need help? And again, I'm going to ask you later about using this platform and this network to help achieve that.
So I, as a single parent, I felt inadequate for years. And people think because you're a mom, you know it all.
You got figured it out.
You don't. I didn't have the means. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the resources to parent my children adequately. And what that meant was I was constantly feeling like I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. But I had to reach out and say to my friends, I need help.
Wow.
And they would say to me, keep going, you're doing well.
Wow.
So even if you don't go to a therapist or a counselor or a coach,
but you've got a family system, friends, find support from the people. Because especially us as men, we don't exhale easily. We don't talk about what heads inside. We have to bleed outside for us to seek help, but inside, we don't find it easy to talk to somebody. You told me your story as a single mom yourself. How would you advise the other side, single moms or exes or co-parents that are co-parenting with us, to be able to create those connections with the single dads, to make it easy to connect the bridges, and also create spaces and environments that make it easy to communicate? Because sometimes they are the ones that push the dads away, and then the dad folds his arm and he says, as long as I'm sending money, my child will be fine. What would you say to those moms that are resentful, that are fearful, that are thinking that parenting defaults to a woman?
I think you need to know how hard it is to raise a child.
Okay.
And it's your child's birthright to have both their parents.
Definitely.
And there will come a time when your child will choose. I believe that children build a long table, and how you treat them is where they'll place you at the table. As adults. So be careful how you
depending how you treat them,
and how much time you give them.
Spend to them.
So as women, please don't use your children as a tool.
To spite the other person.
To spite your partner, because if he's chosen...
Or to fight your battles.
Yes. Okay. If he's chosen to move on.
Respect that.
Respect that. And I think, I had a very difficult divorce. I never discussed my ex-husband with my children.
Wow.
Because they were hurting so deeply.
Deeply, yeah.
And the only thing I said to myself is, you broke these kids' heart.
Wow.
And understand what you do.
The impact of that.
When you decide to split up, you are breaking your children's heart.
Yes.
Now somebody has to be adult enough to say, I'm not going to
To
act the
confront this, yes.
I'm not going to speak about my partner in a disrespectful way, no matter what they do.
Wow.
And I took the high road. I didn't discuss it. I didn't tell them what happened in the marriage.
Wow.
But his own behavior made his children decide how they treat them. Be beyond reproach.
Beyond reproach. Yes.
Let your children never grow up to be adults and say, I blame you for this.
Wow.
Because it means they can't trust you. And remember, when your kids are small, the issues are small. When they're big, the issues are big, and they
get
need
bigger.
you.
And they need you more as they grow.
They need both of you
Yes.
to just be there to say, it's going to be okay.
You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. We've got this.
Wow.
We're the adults, and we've got this.
I like
So
this.
I urge people to say, please don't be indulgent when it comes to that child's little heart.
Yes.
Don't say to the 14-year-old, you're the man of the house.
They're
You
very
can
fragile.
never be
No,
the man
it's
of
not
the house.
possible. No.
Don't do
At
that.
age, yeah. Last question as we wrap up. How would you use this network, this community, to raise awareness? And how do you think some dads or fathers out there could use this vehicle to demystify some of the stereotypes, destroy stigma, and form strong relationships with their dad? Do you see this as a vehicle to get those bridges connected, and how would you use it yourself to expand your reach?
And I think the first thing for me would be awareness. Go home weekends. Don't go binge drinking. Don't think it's cool to be sleeping with all these women, both women and men, because you are making a mark on your child's. You are staining their lives.
It's a memory you're creating, and it's a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think especially for single dads, we need you.
Okay.
You need it. You're wanted. Nobody could ever replace you in your children's life. No matter how wonderful or how big a car the stepdad drives, your children will only want you.
Yeah.
You have to step up. No matter what is happening in your life, use this platform to get assistance. Get your coaching, get your therapy. It could be 6 sessions.
Yeah, it couldn't be maybe it's not a big thing. It's not like a massive thing.
No, but come. If there is this network, come and attend group sessions. For years, I joined Kids Haven to get parenting skills.
Wow.
I went for therapy, I went for counseling. I never stopped working on myself to find resources to be the best mom I could be. Do the same, because your children will thank you for that.
I like that. I like the idea of reaching out. I need to say this. In session 2 or season 2, I want to explore more questions with Adele and other practitioners, especially life coaches, because I want to delve into the territory of financial advice, the legal side of things, the social side of things, because in season 2, we're going to be talking a lot about how do we help. How do we begin to help these struggling dads, and how do we use the network to create those bridges and to support one another? Once again,
if I can just say, let the shame go.
Yeah.
No matter where you find yourself,
yeah.
Let the shame go. Whether you're unemployed or employed, no matter what has happened, don't let shame keep you from your children.
I like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and all the best. And we're going to take soon again. And then definitely you're going to be part of season 2.
Okay.
Thank you guys. And then well done today. And then we look forward to seeing you guys follow us on the next episodes. And again, if you want to hear more about the Single Dads Network, go to dadconnections.org. Sign up if you're a single dad. If you are a lover of what we are doing and you want to follow the cause, please get involved, and we want to hear your points of view as well. All the best.